Hey, you geeks! The trailer has arrived! 2 glorious minutes of mostly new footage that I can dissect for your viewing pleasure, along with 2 more articles, which did so much to answer my questions from last week. I must admit, my outlook has changed from cautious optimism to truly excited for this show. It may be fan fiction, but it looks like good fan fiction. Does the existence of She's the Man diminish the brilliance of Twelfth Night in any way? Or could Clueless detract from Emma?
As if!
Though The Rings of Power is more like the masterpiece theater production of Dickensian, where all the Dickens characters lived in the same neighborhood in London and told their backstories. Spin-off shows should be judged by how well they capture the author's vision of the characters and the world, while letting the audience enjoy these things they already love for a few more hours. That is what I hope for, and this latest trailer finally looks like The Rings of Power will deliver it. Now, let's follow that meteor from west to east, beginning in Valinor, then Numenor, Eregion, Khazad-dûm, and going to wherever on the road the Harfoots are hiding. In the beginning, we see Valinor. Like, really, the trees! Those are some really great trees. I know Tolkien would approve. I could go on for paragraphs about those trees, but I am not Tolkien. So a picture is worth 1,000 words. Not only do we see Valinor, but we also see the elves depart it of sorts. There are those who believe that we see the Vengeance Pact being sworn. That pact was a terrible decision, really. A decision that led to a bunch of elves dying at the hands of Morgoth and his servants.
A Balrog, a demon of the ancient world.
From the first teaser, fans theorized that the whiny boy was supposed to be the First Age elves fighting Morgoth, which was underwhelming. This red scene, this is the appropriate amount of whelming for the battle against Morgoth. A battle I now believe Galadriel is still fighting.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
With her very pointy sword. Last week I feared she was going to start the season sailing to Valinor to surrender or go on vacation. But now I realize the First Age ended with the Valar swooping in to save the day, so Galadriel may be sailing to Valinor to get them to come back. Galadriel's journey takes her through many stunning places, one of them being the mythic Sundering Seas of Arda, also known as Belagir, located between Middle-earth and Numenor, where she begrudgingly relies on a human named Halbrand, after the two are stranded together in the height of a massive storm. The storm, I suppose, is their polite refusal to help, redirecting her to Numenor and the race of men instead. I suppose her quality time with Halbrand will teach her that men aren't completely useless.
I left to find help, and I found you.
And she will spend the rest of the series trying to rally men and elves to fight together against the new enemy.
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen.
Specifically on Numenor, her majestic ride down the beach with Isildur will be about making an alliance. Then she will return to Lindon, still seeking alliances, and somehow get sent on a fetch quest. Numenor. I have a few things to clarify from last week. I stand corrected. Miriel is mentioned in the Lord of the Rings appendices. Tar Palantir, the Farsighted's daughter, should have been the 4th queen, Tar Miriel, but the king's nephew usurped the scepter and became Ar-Pharazôn, the Golden, last king of Numenor. It also has occurred to me that her role as seer and the foretelling of Numenor's doom draws from her father Tar-Palantir's name. Palantir is more than just a magic rock. It means to see far away.
A Palantir is a dangerous tool, Saruman.
It appears Amazon is giving Muriel a lot of her father's powers. First, the ability to literally see the future, then be the last ruler of Numenor before Pharazôn takes power. Entertainment Weekly names her Queen Regent, so maybe her father is still alive, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. If her father still lived, she would be Princess Regent, as Prince George was the regent for his father in his old age and the Regency era. If she was Queen Regent, she would be ruling on behalf of her minor child, who has the right to the throne.
I was the queen so long as my husband, the king, was alive, but since he died, I'm no longer the queen, I'm simply Queen Mary. My late son's widow was also the queen, but upon the death of her husband, she became Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother.
I hope this is the only thing they've dumbed down for us simple Americans who have no concept of how a peerage system works. Besides that, Numenor looks fantastic. I've complained about the Wheel of Time's costumes, so let me explain why I love these looks. Numenor has a major color scheme, blue, orange, and cream. Makes sense for an island culture, considering Tolkien regularly referred to Numenor as an Atlantis. The Grecian and fishy stylings make sense. I began a book of time travel, of which the end was to be the presence of my hero in the drowning of Atlantis. This was to be called Numenor, the land in the west. The thread was to be the occurrence of time, and again in human families, like Durin among the dwarves, of a father and son, called by names that could be interpreted as Bliss Friend and Elf Friend. The Inklings really had a thing for Atlantis. In Narnia, Atlanteans were the first ones to master world hopping. Without them, children would have never found Narnia. Back to the costumes. You can look at each character and instantly know they are Numenorian. Everyone in this Numenor family is within the color scheme, with cuts and fabrics that are just different enough to distinguish between class and profession. Switching over to our Emmonsfield 5, who are all wearing clothes, some of them having something to do with sheep.
All right, you bad boy.
The last thing I want to gush about was my original fears that Amazon would make the House of Elendil common. Isildur, we've been told, is just a simple sailor.
This is no mere ranger. He is Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
But now we see his father riding horses with Galadriel, then riding with the queen. The House of Elendil's poverty is not because Amazon made them more approachable, but because they are faithful to the Valar, which makes them unpopular. I approve. Though I do mourn that Anarion is
the aptly named Sir not appearing in this film.
Eregion. So it looks like Celebrimbor in an elven fight club. I really don't know what to make of this scene, because the only one I can think of with the power to capture elves in the Second Age is Sauron. But I presumed this season he would still be Anatar, giver of gifts and friend to the elves. So who is chaining them up? For that matter, we also have Numenor going to war. Of course, they did not spread their sea empire through exclusively peaceful means. Tolkien makes this note. The first sign of the shadow that was to fall upon the Numenorians appeared in the days of Tar Minas Tir, 11th king. He it was that sent a great force to the aid of Gil-galad. This army was summoned to drive Sauron out of Eregion, but it seems too early for that. That can't occur until after Sauron has helped make the Rings of Power and his Master Ring.
One ring to rule them all.
It is then he wages war on the elves and they lose. Then the Numenorians sweep in and save the day. This battle also happened a long time before Pharazôn was born, let alone him taking Sauron captive. Though, with the condensed timelines, I figured the Rings of Power would combine these two events, which would be like a third or fourth season finale. I honestly didn't think there would be much fighting this season, save the odd skirmish with orcs and goblins. So now I very much want to know.
Who was shooting? Who were they shooting at? And why weren't they getting along?
There are, of course, other servants of Morgoth who survived the First Age. I hope if we're going to fight this season, we'll be fighting them. Khazad-dûm. I had been worried about how much gold featured in the early promo pics of Moria. Though gold is important in Middle-earth, all that is gold does not glitter. Gold was not Moria's greatest treasure. Mithril was. The wealth of Moria was not in gold and jewels, the toys of dwarves. For here alone in the world was found Moria silver, or true silver, some have called it. Mithril is the elvish name.
Mithril, as light as a feather, and as hard as dragon scales.
It is for this unobtainium of Middle-earth that
The dwarves delved too greedily and too deep.
But my fears have been allayed by Prince Durin.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Thank you! I will gladly watch you and your lovely bride rule your people into riches, then hold out against Sauron in your stronghold. Though the gift of the ring may poison you from within, it won't be another age until the Balrog comes to destroy everything you have built. On the road. While I do think this headpiece is a little bit extra and a lot of bit munchkin, Tolkien did say they were rather good at avoiding us big folk. They possessed from the first the art of disappearing swiftly and silently when large folk whom they did not wish to meet come blundering by. They must have had some major hiding skills to keep them out of history despite living amongst men for the Second Age. Amazon now implies that they will harbor Adar, the man who fell in flames. And looks very creepy on Amazon's newest promotion. If he is the spark that sets the Second Age on fire, I wonder how Amazon will justify the absence of Harfoots from Middle-earth's Second Age history. Maybe Adar kills them all! I don't want that to happen, but it could, and it would be darned interesting. Awaiting this show, I've been positive before because I don't want to assume the worst. But with this trailer, Amazon has given me hope that this will be good. I now ask these questions not in fear, but in anticipation for what September 2nd will bring. Be sure to join me Mondays at 3 for my full reviews of those episodes. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you would like to see more. Your patronage is greatly appreciated.